I really love non-English thrillers, and Netflix has really been rolling them out lately. This time it's Twin Murders, The Silence of the White City. Will the mystery grab you and just keep you engaged? Or are you going to want to silence the movie? A homicide detective returns to the job as a serial killer starts back up their killing spree. And this one has a unique twist to it. The victims are male and female, placed side by side, posed, and spaced 5 years apart in age. Like one set of victims is 15 years old. The next set is 20. Then after that it's 25. And we continue on. This is based on a novel or a series, but I've not read it, and so all of the characters are brand new to me. The premise of this is pretty intriguing, especially when you take into account the murderer has taken a break and then is resuming their work. And then, of course, combined just with the oddity of how they choose and how they place the victims. I mean, that's just, I've not seen that done on any mystery before, and I kind of liked that it was posed for a certain reason in a certain way, and then of course the progressively every 5 years, that's a whole different angle also. Now there are some crime mysteries where you go the entire length of the show or the movie and you do not know who the killer is until the very end. And then there's some where you know right off the bat who the killer is, and then all of the excitement comes from the hunt. Both can be done exceptionally well, if written well, and then executed on screen well also, from the direction and the editing, just that they keep the anxiety and the tension and the intrigue going the entire time. Both can work really, really well. But if done poorly, both are terrible, because either you don't care by the time they get to who the killer is, they're like, I've lost interest, or if it's revealed towards the beginning and they don't keep up that tension, well, then you've lost interest as well, and that's a fail on both sides, and you don't want that. In Twin Murders, you find out who the killer is about halfway-ish through, and the good thing though is that after that, that's when the tension really starts to rise. I felt before that, it was just kind of mild. Like maybe a little bit of intrigue, and I wanted to find out who it was because the killing was so unique. But once we found out who it was, that's when I was like, ooh, yeah, okay, now I'm really invested. Now, I did know who it was before they revealed it. The clues were there, and so it wasn't a massive shock to that. But luckily, that's not where it hung. That it was really then the chase and how are they going to catch the killer. That became the crux of everything. Now, I did like some of the actors, but I felt like I was missing parts of either their character, their backstory, their development, something like here they are, and maybe I was supposed to have read the novels first so that I get a better understanding of who these people are. But I just felt like certain nuances of them, it was just kind of either left for me to assume, or it was so vague in some of the dialogue that it didn't stick with me and I didn't connect. And so I'm just kind of going along with there and slowly growing with the characters. Like they're beginning to connect with some of them. Some parts of the story don't make a lot of sense when it comes to the relationships. Like there is some underlying tension or aggression that comes out, but we don't have a basis for it. There are also some odd things that happen with just characters and their actions that don't feel like they're based in reality. I mean, even some situations and relationships between suspects and the cops that don't feel real, like that they just wouldn't happen in real life. And so it makes you look at this and go, well, why would you allow that to happen? Well, maybe it's just for story ease, just to make the story flow a little easier on their end, but it doesn't make as compelling of a watch on our end. Now, there is still some good anxiety and good excitement in this, even though there are a lot of issues that go along with the relationships. And I think that's probably the weakest part of the story, is just the relationships and how they choose to develop the characters and show them to us. But the chase, that part, that's fun. So if you are looking for some mystery and intrigue, you might want to check this out. But do know that there are a lot of better mysteries out there available on Netflix right now. Some of them are English speaking, some of them are non-English. It doesn't really matter. I mean, this isn't a terrible one. It's just not great. I think it's hampered by the lack of development in some of the characters, some of the relationships, and then some of just the odd choices that are made when telling us the story. There is sex, nudity, a lot of profanity, and some very graphic violence. I give Twin Murders, The Silence of the White City, 2.5 out of 5 couches. So what is the best non-English mystery on Netflix that you can recommend to me? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.